Some people refer to Dalton, Illinois' mayor, Tiffany Henyard, as the super mayor, while others doubt the effectiveness of her leadership. A number of choices made during her tenure have raised legal issues and public anxiety. The municipality is in a state of uncertainty as a result of her time in office taking unforeseen twists, including contentious nominations and personal legal disputes. Her selection of Ronald Burge as Dalton's new police chief was one of the most talked about choices. It might have appeared to be a standard leadership decision, but things soon got difficult. Henyard went ahead and chose Burge for the position in spite of several objections. His suitability for the job was questioned, though, especially in light of his relationship with the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. His certification was inactive at the time of his appointment, indicating that he did not fulfill the legal qualifications to be a police officer or head a department. Henyard maintained her decision in spite of these reservations, which eventually resulted in court battles and escalating community dissatisfaction. Burge's certification status and the method by which Henyard chose her were both linked to the YAW. Controversy surrounding her appointment. Her response to the matter stoked further controversy, raising public awareness and resulting in ongoing court battles. When it became evident that the correct procedures had not been followed, Henyard's decision-making process came under increased scrutiny. The town's trustees were adamantly against Burge's appointment, citing her failure to follow local laws and obtain village board consent. But in spite of these cautions, Henyard, who is renowned for taking a strong stand on matters, went ahead and made the hire. This action resulted in unresolved, ongoing legal problems. Burge, however, was not the first person involved in the Henyard controversy. She has been at the center of numerous scandals and legal issues since entering office in 2021. Her spending patterns were one of the most discussed topics and received a lot of criticism. She was accused in reports of spending public money on opulent vacations, fine eating, and even throwing a big Valentine's Day party with a private DJ and lots of picture ops. Many believed that these expenses were careless and unrelated to the needs of the people of Dalton. These worries were only the start. The controversy surrounding Henyard's leadership and decision-making has been heightened by claims that she has surrounded herself with people whose backgrounds have drawn criticism. Numerous detractors contend that Henyard surrounds herself with people who are more interested in assisting her in keeping power than in questioning her authority. For instance, one of her appointees, former Police Chief L. Lacey, was also inactive with the state's law enforcement training program. Similar worries have reappeared in light of Burge's appointment being under investigation, prompting inquiries on whether her choices are motivated by loyalty or credentials. The Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board made it clear that Burge lacked the qualifications to be the police chief in this instance. In addition to not meeting the requirements for requalification, his certification was no longer valid. Henyard has refused to back down from her choice and has persisted in pushing for his nomination in spite of these formal warnings. This has given rise to claims that Mayor Tiffany Henyard puts preserving a devoted close circle ahead of following the law and professional norms. Henyard is currently embroiled in several legal disputes as the controversy over Ronald Burge's selection heats up. The community of Dalton is unsure of what will happen next as a result of the growing controversy surrounding her leadership. Choices. The town's trustees requested a restraining order to stop Burge from acting as interim police chief, which is one of the most recent events in this ongoing scandal. At first, a judge decided in the trustees' favor, ruling that Burge could not take up the position without first receiving permission from the village board. But after a tumultuous board meeting, things swiftly took a drastic turn. Burge was permitted to serve for 30 days in an interim capacity after the judge overturned the previous ruling. However, the problem was not significantly resolved by this temporary ruling. With the help of a formal letter from the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board, the trustees persisted in their contention that Burge's inactive certification should prevent him from serving at all. Serious concerns have been raised by this ongoing debate. How can a person who is legally incapable of carrying a gun or performing basic police functions be trusted to oversee a whole department? Many people are wondering where Dalton's leadership is headed as a result of the growing issue around Burge's nomination. The problem creates serious public safety issues that go beyond politics. The town is deeply divided as a result of Henyard's choices. Many people consider her activities to be irresponsible and worrisome, while some of her admirers regard her as a leader who is questioning the current quo. Many neighbors have found it difficult to trust her judgment because of her recurrent disregard for local rules and legal procedures. Henyard has not indicated that it will back down in the face of the mounting controversies and legal disputes. To the surprise and ire of her detractors, she recently declared her intention to run for a second term as mayor. She brazenly announced on social media, "I'm running for mayor of Dalton again," demonstrating her resolve to hold on to her position of authority. In 2021, Henyard won her first election with a resounding majority of more than 80% of the vote. But the public's confidence in her leadership seems to be eroding with every new issue. She has, nevertheless, shown a remarkable capacity to flourish in the midst of upheaval, as if to use controversy to bolster her political profile. The question still stands. Will the town support her leadership, or is change imminent as Dalton continues to deal with the consequences of her choices? Henyard's resolve to stay in charge is demonstrated by her refusal to step down despite tremendous public pressure. It's unclear if this strategy will get her a second term. However, one thing is certain. The path ahead will not be easy. Henyard has been embroiled in personal legal troubles that are now affecting her work life, as if her public scandals weren't enough. Due to overdue rent from August, she and her partner, Kamal Woods, are in danger of being evicted from a rented house. After several unsuccessful attempts to serve eviction papers, the landlord, Janetta Ho, who formerly thought of Henyard as a friend, has started legal action. To make things even more complicated, Ho says Henyard and Woods have changed the locks on the property to keep her from entering for essential repairs, among other drastic measures to avoid being served. The public's mistrust has only grown as a result of this personal conflict. There are significant issues with the notion that a current mayor is managing the town's finances while involved in a legal dispute over overdue rent. Many wonder how Henyard can be allowed to manage the affairs of a whole town if she finds it difficult to manage her own financial and legal obligations. Dalton's citizens are at a turning point as Henyard's personal and professional issues continue to clash. The town is now forced to consider more profound issues about trust, accountability, and the community's future as a result of the worries around her leadership going beyond political choices. The residents of Dalton are now compelled to face Henyard's personal failings in addition to her political choices. Many people are asking if she can still lead successfully because of the environment of discontent and disappointment caused by a series of scandals, legal disputes, and ethical issues. Dalton's predicament is reminiscent of a political thriller, a contentious leader, a community in disarray, and an unresolved legal dispute. Henyard's hold on power seems to be eroding with every new controversy. Her refusal to resign, meanwhile, implies that the drama is still ongoing. Dalton residents now have to make a crucial choice. Will they stick with a mayor whose leadership has been marred by scandal, or is it time for a change? It's unclear if the citizens will overlook her behavior and give her another term as Henyard gets ready for her re-election campaign, or if her scandals will ultimately catch up with her. There is no doubt that Dalton's political unrest is far from done, and the ongoing court cases will continue to influence the town's course.